Welcome to our Painting with Literacy Night, February 2021. Literacy is so important to the development of language. Reading to and with your child stimulates their imagination and expands their knowledge of the world. It helps them develop language and listening skills and equips them to understand the written word. Completing activities such as crafts and painting to go along with the story enriches their learning and helps bring the story to life. Continue reading with your child after they learn to read to help them understand the importance of literacy and to continue to broaden their understanding of the world around them. Please join our art teacher, Mrs. Alexia Narducci, as she guides your children through painting a Valentine's-themed artwork. At points where the paint needs to dry, she will be reading the story, Click Clack Moo, I Love You, by Doreen Cronin. Happy painting and enjoy the story.
Good evening, Ochwilla families. It's Mrs. Narducci, and I'm going to be reading Click Clack Moo, I Love You, by Doreen Cronin and Betsy Lewin. We will also be doing a painting. So at this time, I want you to get your bag of art supplies and bring them to your table where you have prepared a workspace, okay? Make sure you have something to protect your table and something to wear to protect your clothing. I have on an apron. Maybe you have an old t-shirt or a smock. Okay, we want to look to see what art supplies we have in our bag. You should have 2 paintbrushes, a large and a small. You should have 4 bottles of paint. They will be 2-ounce bottles, so you will not be using all of the paint at one time. I didn't have a 2-ounce bottle at this time, but I have white paint, blue paint, red paint, and black paint. At some point, we'll be mixing a little white and red together to create pink, so keep that in mind. You also need a small container with water. We'll be using that to clean our brushes and to paint across our canvas. All right, this is your canvas. We have our brushes, our paint, our water. Take out your paper plate. On your paper plate, you're going to use a small amount of white. Next to the white, make sure you're spacing it though. Blue. Alrighty. Next to the blue, we have black. All right. And last, we have our red. Put the red closer to the white because at some point we'll be mixing those. Now, I'm setting my paint aside. I'm getting out my canvas and my large brush. We have our water container. Wet your brush and go across your canvas. The entire canvas. We're just lightly dampening the entire canvas. Doing long strokes back and forth. There we go. You can't make a mistake with this. All right. Next, we continue with our large brush. Dip it into your white paint. And you're taking the white paint, just go across lightly, all the way across the board. We don't need too much of that. Going back and forth. With this same brush, I'm going right into the blue. I'm going to paint the entire surface of the canvas. With the blue paint, back and forth. It's going to look like a blue sky. And remember, you can't make a mistake. No worries. Back and forth. Okay, that's looking good. Now, if you have a hair dryer, plug it into your wall, and you're going to be able to dry the canvas with it. Okay. Click, clack, moo. I love you. There we go. Click, clack, moo. I love you. It is Valentine's Day on the farm, but there is work to be done before the big dance. To keep the pigs healthy, Farmer Brown cleans the pig pen. To keep the donkey happy, Farmer Brown stocks the stable. To keep the animals safe from foxes and raccoons, Farmer Brown mends the fence. Little Duck worked hard too. She tied balloons to everything. She strung sparkling lights between everything. She made hearts out of anything she could find. When Little Duck was finished, there was paint on her face, glitter in her wings, and a valentine for for the pigs, sheep, donkey, chicken, Farmer Brown, sheep, and of course, there's our glitter. That evening, Little Duck greeted each guest at the door. The chickens arrived first. Quack, quack, quack. Little Duck handed each chicken a valentine. The chickens handed her a casserole. The pigs arrived next. Quack, quack, quack. Little Duck handed each pig a valentine. The pigs handed her chips and salsa. Oops. There we go. The sheep arrived fashionably late. Quack, quack, quack. She handed each sheep a valentine. The sheep headed right for the chips and salsa. The cows had a more formal affair and were out for the evening. Down here it says, join us for the second annual Divine Bovine Ball. Formal attire, please. Okay, we're going to stop there. I'll continue reading in a little bit, but we want to get back to our painting. Let's put down my protective paper, my canvas. Okay, once you've found your balloon template, that's this, you're going to place it in the top center of your canvas. Let's see, let me move this down a little so you can see it. Now, you want to use your small black paintbrush. I'm not sure if you'll have a black paintbrush, but the small brush, and dip it into the black paint. Now, hold down the balloons, and you're going to paint around this template or tracer. Don't worry if you get any of the paint on the tracer, that's fine. With this thin brush, you're going to have to dip several times. Go around the entire outline of your balloon. Doesn't matter if you get any paint on the template. That's fine. Just want to make sure that connected up there. There we go. There we go. No worries. You really can't mess up on this at all. I'm just going around the bottom of each balloon. Okay, and I'm going to carefully lift it off. There we go. So right now we have the outline of our balloon, and we have to go into the balloon and complete the side of each balloon. So very carefully, you're going to start at the top of the first balloon. This is going to be first, second, third balloon. Only completing the side of the balloon. Come down, connect that to the bottom of your balloon. Your next balloon, go up to the top and bring your line down to the bottom, the base of that balloon. Now with the first and the third balloon, I'm going to round off the bottom. Okay. Now I'm adding a little more black to my thin paintbrush, and now I'm going to do the strings of each balloon. So we're at the bottom of the balloon, and this will be its string. Bring it on down, curve it a little bit. Okay, go to the center balloon and do the same thing. Each balloon needs a string. This one's not going to go as far down as the first one. And here's our last balloon, our third balloon, I should say. And his string goes a little further. His will be the longest. I'm going to go back and make these just a little thicker so we can see them. And that's nice and thick through there. Okay. At this time, we have our balloons, we have our strings, and now at the base of each string, we're going to make a small heart. Okay, so I kind of start from the center and go out. We have one, make it big enough because each heart's going to have a letter in it. We're going to spell love. So there's one heart. Another heart. They don't have to be the same shape. Gives a little more personality. Okay. And our last heart on this string, I'm going to have mine tilted a little bit sideways. Now, we are not painting the center. Do not paint the center of your hearts. Okay, we're going to do that later. Now, off to the side, right, of this first heart, we're making, this is our first heart, come over here to the side, make another little heart. He's all by himself. But he also is going to have a letter. He'll have the first letter of love, which will be L. Okay? Now, this little heart, he doesn't have a balloon. So, We're just going to do a little string like he's falling off of a balloon. There we go. At this time, I want you to clean your black brush because we'll be using it with some other colors. All right. Remember, you have your little water container. And any fresh water, because we will be using this one again. Wipe it off with your paper towel or your wipey. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. And I'm going to wipe my hands off too. I have a little bit of black paint on me. Now, at this time, we're going to let this dry a little bit because our next step, we're going to be filling in our balloons with white paint. So I'm going to set my painting aside. Okay, let that dry a little bit. I'm moving my messy paper. Click, clack, moo. I love you. When the music came on, the chickens danced with the chickens. The pigs danced with the pigs. The sheep danced with the sheep, and the mice did the hustle. There we go. On the other side of the fence, at the top of the hill, a little fox heard the music. She perked up her ears and cawed, "Yip, yip, yip." Nobody answered, but there were streamers in the trees. Little fox climbed down the hill. She cawed, "Yip, yip, yip." Nobody answered, but there were balloons to lead the way. Little fox trotted down to the fence. She cawed, "Yip, yip, yip." Nobody answered, but there was a trail of hearts to follow. So little fox dug a hole. Little fox arrived at the barn, covered in streamers and glitter. She cawed, "Yip, yip, yip." The chickens stopped dancing. The sheep stopped dancing. The pigs stopped dancing. The mice hustled right out into the hay. Little fox cawed again. "Yip, yip, yip." Little duck was not scared. She greeted the new guest. "Quack, quack, quack." She handed little fox her last Valentine. Little fox, Valentine, right back. Yip, 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 quack, quack, quack. Duck turned the music up. Yip, quack, yip, quack, yip, quack, quack. Okay, we're going to stop there and continue with our painting. Now, as we did before, if you have a hair dryer, let's dry that black paint a little bit, okay? I'm going to dry this a little bit because we're going to be using some white paint next. Here we go. We've got our balloons back, ready to go. Now, with your large brush that you've already cleaned, we're going to dip it into some white paint, and we're going to fill in each balloon. Okay, let's start with our first balloon. I'm just going in a circular motion, going around and around. There we go. Okay, I'm going into my second balloon. You want to leave the black edge on. Going around. There we go. Here's my third balloon. Right out. Not covering up the black lines, trying not to. Okay. And now I'm going to fill in the little base. If you're not comfortable using the wide brush on these smaller areas, you can get out your smaller brush. I think I'm going to do that. Dip that into my white. It's clean now. And this will be a lot easier for you in the small areas. This is the base of the balloon. Okay, now with your small brush, we're still using the small brush and white paint. We're going to fill in each small heart. I'm going to call this very first one. Let me move this up so you can see it. With a little tiny string that's not attached. This is our first balloon. Remember, we want to keep the black line. So it's almost, you could keep a space. Your white and black paint. That way it won't smudge. Kind of go with that paint with that heart shape. So you're going to go out and come down to a point at the bottom of your heart. Okay, they're looking good. It's nice to have a nice thin brush when you're doing the inside of the small spaces. That looks nice. Okay, here's my last heart. Okay, that looks nice. Okay, now we're going back up to our first balloon. And let me move this up so you can, whoops, I want to go this way, I'm sorry. Our first balloon, we're going to paint red. So I'm going to take the excess of my white paint off. I'll put that on the side. That's grape juice, those grooves. Okay, here goes some red paint. And remember, if you're not comfortable using your larger brush, just use the small one. Nice circular motion. Just go around. Go around. There we go. I love that. That looks nice. Here's the base of my balloon. I may go back and use that small brush for a little detail down there to make that look a little nicer. Our second balloon, we want to get out our small brush. Okay. This second balloon that's white is going to have small red hearts in it. So I've got red paint on my small brush. And anywhere on that heart, I'm going to do little hearts. I mean, anywhere on that white balloon, I'm making red hearts. You've got to be very careful because our paint's still wet, okay? You may want to let things dry a little bit before you do this. But I'm trying to be very careful. I want little red hearts all over this pretty white balloon. Make it extra special for Valentine's Day. I think I'm going to make that look a little more curved down there. This one looks like it wants to go to the back of the balloon. Let's put one over towards this side. Whoops. Okay, so we have our first one's red, our second one has small red hearts, and our last one, this is a fun part. We're going to mix a little bit of red in our white paint, okay, because we want to make a pretty pink. Let's see, I want you to be able to see me mixing it, because that's the fun part. I love mixing colors. And pink and red is always nice for Valentine's Day. So mix it up, mix it up. Oh, that's pretty. You'll see that? That pretty pink? There we go. Now, for my third balloon, I'm going to paint it pink. And since this little balloon, he's kind of on the outside, isn't he? We're trying to save that black line. Oh, there we go. And this paint's nice and thick and creamy. Oh, I love it. And remember, we can go back with a smaller brush and do the smaller details, okay? So I have still a bit of white up here I want to cover. Not too worried about that. Mix that in. Come down here to the base of the pink balloon. Color that, or paint, I should say. Paint that pink. Alrighty. Oh, I love that pink. And I notice right up in that top corner, I've got a white that's just bursting. Oh, I didn't want to get too close to that black. Maybe if I smooth it from the center. There we go. And it's always good to sit back and look at your painting. Make sure you're happy with it. I notice a little area here I want to add some red to. You just don't want to overdo, okay? Sometimes less is more. All right, and I think we're going to come down now. That looks good. Our balloons are looking good. Now we want to work on our small hearts. So take your small brush, go to the very first heart that's not attached to a balloon. Okay, it just has that little string on it. And this heart's going to have polka dots. I love polka dots. With the tip of your small brush, make cute little dots, cute little polka dots. There, that was easy. I hope you can see that all right. Okay, cute little polka dots. All right. Now, with the second heart right here, this one's going to be pink. Okay, so I'm going to wipe my red off a little bit, dip my small brush into that pretty pink paint, and go right on top of that white. It's all right. Remember, if you are uncomfortable with the wet paint, you can use a hair dryer or let it dry. Right now, I don't mind blending these colors. So that second heart is pink. Our third heart, okay, that's attached to the balloon in the middle, that big white balloon with the red hearts, we're going to use our thin brush, and we're making diagonal lines. Now, if you're with Mrs. Narducci in art, we always talk about our lines. I said diagonal is kind of like doing a... Here we go. It's not horizontal, it's not vertical, it's diagonal. All right? That turned out nice. Now, the fourth heart, which is right here, attached to that pretty pink balloon, is going to be red. The entire heart is red. Remember, we want to try to stay away from the black outline as much as we can. Good to try to keep a little space. All right. Okay, that is looking nice. So right now, I'm going to flip this around so you can see it better. All right, we have our balloons, the strings, and the little hearts. Here comes the fun part. Get out your little container of glitter. You should have a diamond glitter. I'm using the glitter that I have, which is gold. And very carefully, we don't want a glitter explosion. I know your parents don't want a glitter explosion. We're just going to take our glitter. Okay. Fix this to make sure I can see what I'm doing here. Okay. The paint is still wet. This is glitter time. All right. So if you're going to use a hair dryer, please hold off until we sprinkle glitter across, gently, gently, gently. The wet paint, first balloon, second balloon, be just like the Valentines from our Click Clack Moo with all that beautiful glitter. Don't want a glitter explosion. That's easy to do. Now we've done the balloons. We want to come down and do our small hearts. Oh, Mrs. Narducci loves glitter. Oh, I'm so happy with that. Flip this around so you can see it. All nice and glittery. Woo, I love that. And I think what I'll do first, I'm going to let it just dry. That way the glitter will set into the paint. And we'll go back to reading Click Clack Moo, I Love You. I'm so excited to find out what happens. Back to our story. All that beautiful glitter. The chickens danced with the sheep. The pigs danced with the chickens. And the mice kept right on hustling. Everybody dance with everybody until the cows came home. The end. I hope you've enjoyed this wonderful book. Click, clack, moo. I love you. I sure did, especially the glitter. Okay, now at this time, I'm putting back my protective covering, bringing back my painting, which I am going to use a hairdryer, just a little bit. I don't want to blow off my glitter, so let's see how this goes. Oh, the final step. I'm so excited. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to get my small brush, right? Dip it into black paint, and we're going to write love. So go to your first small heart that's not attached to a balloon and write uppercase L. Okay? You'll be able to see it. That's our L. The next balloon, which is pink with glitter, O, uppercase O. Okay, I'll turn our painting around so you're able to see that. So we have L-O. The next letter is V, uppercase V. And you just need a little bit of paint on your brush. Okay, there we go. L-O-V, and our last letter E. Okay. So we have spelled love. Now, we're going to go down to the corner of our canvas. All right, so it'll be near that letter E, but at the bottom. And I want you to sign your name. If you are able to, you can use the black paint. If that's too difficult, later on when everything's dried, you could get a Sharpie marker and write your name. And you could do the year 2021. That would be a nice reminder. So I'm putting my name carefully. Okay, this might be a little difficult for some of you. That's all right, a Sharpie works great. Signing the bottom. I'm just putting Narducci. All right, and I'm going to write our paint, I should say, 2021. 2021. Okay. Oh, there we go. So that is our finished painting. I hope you have enjoyed our time together. I sure have. Happy Valentine's to all. Lots of love, Mrs. Narducci.
We hope you enjoyed the story, Click Clock Moo, I Love You, painting along with Miss Narducci. Thank you to all who worked behind the scenes to make sure our Painting with Literacy Night was a success. A special thank you to Miss Narducci for taking the time to share her painting talent and reading with us. Also, thank you to the Putnam County School District IT Department for helping put our video together. Please make sure you take a picture of your artwork and post it in the comment section of our Ochwilla School Facebook page and include your child's teacher's name. We are holding a contest for the class with the most comments. Great job painting, Owls. Have a great evening.